Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMAtics video session 222. So basically in today's video, we'll actually try to understand how to write the SQL queries, simple SQL queries when we are filtering by measures, okay? Now I will just quickly cover where I left from the last time because I actually found out the solution. I will just give you the context once again in case you forgot what I did in the last video. There was an issue which I was facing, right? So if you see here, like when I did an SQL query, okay, I see that for annual revenue for one of the industries showing as blank, like others have already have values, okay, that is fine. Uh, but there is one particular industry which is not having value. So for example, here if I write, right, where annual revenue uh, is null, I think is null will work out, I guess, yeah, is null. Sorry, annual revenue. Not equal to, okay, yeah, not equal to null, let's say, okay. Okay, now if I write equal to null, for example, there will be one equal to, I'm sorry. Okay, great. Now, if you see one of the industries not having annual revenue, it is showing as zero. That means ideally this count which is showing, so this is for electronics, right? So ideally this count which you see, right? So here I'm just grouping by this. I'm not putting any filters in this SQL query. That means the count should show 42. You understood, right? Because see, if the industry is having the annual revenue, there's no annual revenue for industry. That means when I go for this condition, right, where annual revenue is not null, so for electronics, which actually it is showing 43, right? Here it should show 42 for electronics, but it's still showing 43. Although I've given this filter, annual revenue is not null. Okay, I've given that filter. So ideally it should have shown 42. Now, what I realized is that if you read this document, right? So I think this document is of course there with each one of you, as I told you. This needs to be handy with you. So I will quickly move to that section where, here in this document, they were talking about the null aspect. So there it's clearly mentioned. Okay, yeah, here it is. For measures, when for SQL null measures, so I will just zoom in a little bit more so that you all can read it. So with null measure handling, you can specify null as the default value. In this it is this one. Okay, null measures handles to replace a blank value. So automatically here for measures, it is replacing that blank value, okay, with a null value which is zero. Okay, so what is happening is the null values which you have that is being replaced by zero. And how did I find out? So for example, in dimension it used to appear as a hyphen, right? It appears as hyphen if you see over here. Okay, but it is said for measures when another default value isn't specified, null measure handling allows you to replace a blank value with a null value. So null value means we are just simply going to map it as zero. Okay, it's not going to appear as dash. And how did I found out that? So for example, if you see this particular industry, this is the ID, right? So I will just filter out for that ID as well. Okay, so here I will additionally write, and I will explain this like how this and all works. But just to explain you this scenario particularly, I have just written this particular ID. Okay, why it's in ID, and okay, let me give it in single quotes. Okay, now what I will do is I will display the annual revenue. You got my point. So I will display this annual revenue over here instead of count is also fine. Maybe I can display the annual revenue as well. So I will just write as annual revenue. And now if I just run the query, okay, I will just remove this one. This is not needed. I'm just commenting this out. Okay, double dash means commenting out. We will learn as we go progress. Now, if you see here, the annual revenue is showing me as zero. That means this is not null. Basically, that null will only happen if that appears as a hyphen. Okay, that's it. But in measure, it is not happening. It doesn't happen automatically. It maps at zero if it is a null value. Now here, if I just write not equal to zero, for example, then it won't show me the value. Okay, so it won't show me the value if you see. Right, not equal to zero, and maybe if I remove this ID right now, okay, if I write not equal to zero specifically, and if I remove the ID, and here also, I'm sorry, here also let me remove this comment, and I don't need the annual revenue once again over here. The annual revenue is not needed. You see, for electronics, right now it is showing me 42, which is cool, right? So here the total records for electronics are 43. I'm not applying any filter, but I know that one of the records, like one of the industry value has annual revenue equal to null, that is for electronics. That means ideally there are 43 records, but if I should have put no, is not null, it should have shown me 42. But the reason why it was not showing is because null values is automatically replaced as is written in the document as well by zero. Okay, I mean they have written in a bit of English way, but that basically means if you see it technically, okay, if you see it practically over there. So that's why one thing to remember is if you put is not null, that won't work out, that won't show you the correct number of records. That I'm writing it as not equal to zero. I have to put it in this manner, then it's showing me electrons as 42. Okay, that was the thing about this one. But anyways, let's return to that thing which we were doing. Okay, so let's now continue writing the SAQL. That is the basic purpose. So again, let me just show what we were doing. So we are displaying the account records group by industry, filtered for annual revenue is not null. So I will just follow that same process. Okay, let's forget about the zero aspect right now, but I hope it made clear to you. Now here I will just go for annual revenue, and we will just go for is not null. Okay, that's it. We will click on apply. Fine. And as you can see, like this is the complete thing on the data set. We already walked through this, so I'm not walking it once again. And right now what we will do, we will just write this thing. Okay, we will write this thing down. So q equal to load. I will just map this one. Fine. I will give a semicolon, and then q equal to filter q by so that annual revenue, I'm going to write in single quotes, annual revenue is not null. Okay, this is the way to write. And q equal to, then I will group by, because I have displayed all the industry. So group by, again in single quotes I will write industry. Okay, q equal to, for each q generate. So I'm just generating the industry and count. Okay, the filter is already done, so I will write q dot industry as industry, okay, and count of q as a. Okay, and q equal to limit q 2000. Right. So q equal to root, that dataset name, q equal to filter q by annual revenue is not null, q equal to group, yeah, I missed this part, q equal to group q by industry, q equal to for each q generate q dot industry as industry, count of q as a, and limit. Okay, so now we will see how whether this works out or not. So I will directly go to the SQL mode. I will put this thing and I will run the query. As you can see, this is working perfectly fine. Okay, so I mean, of course it's not showing me the proper count for electronics, but I told you the reason and I showed you how that can be brought about. But that's not the case. The thing is that right now we are just practicing the SQL, whether SAQL, whether we are able to write that properly or not. Okay, so that's properly written. That's great enough. And yeah, that is about this one. Now let's practice one more. So what I will do is I will leave this one and let's go for some other thing. So let's say I will go for the same condition. That is, I will go for industry over here. I will clear out the sort. I don't need the sorting right now. I will go for annual revenue. Okay. And maybe, I don't know, like here, I can go for, yeah, let's go for between. Okay. So let me type a value. Let's say 5,000. I'm just writing some random value. Let me write it as 50,000. And here, what I will write is, I will write 7 lakh. Okay. So 50,000 till 7 lakh. So that's the range I've given, and that is the thing. So I'm displaying the count of those group by industry, and the filter I've given is annual revenue between 50,000 to 7 lakh. Okay. So let me write that condition quickly over here. So basically display account records group by industry. Okay. Filtered for annual revenue between 50,000 to what was it, 7 lakh. Okay, and I will just copy this dataset name and I will hide whatever I've written till now. Okay, so that's hidden. Now we will first of all very quickly check it how it's done on the backend, and then we will try it on our own. So again, load group generate. I'm not walking through once again. We all know right now how to write. The interesting point is we have to write in mathematical manner. So more than equal to, and this ampersand will be there. We can also write a and b. I think that will also work out, and less than equal to that one. Okay, that's it. So now we will just write it ourselves and we will paste it. Okay. So again, I'm writing from scratch. So here we have to write q equal to load the dataset name, q equal to filter q by annual revenue. Sorry, annual revenue more than equal to 50,000. And so whenever you write between, that values are included. I think you know this. That's what I also know, I guess. So whenever you write between, the values needs to be included. That's why we have given equal to. Had it been from 50,000 to 7 lakh, maybe I should have written, more than, I guess. Okay. But since it's between, I think the values will be included. But yeah, we can check that once that's done. So this annual revenue will be less than equal to 7 lakh. Okay. You don't need to put the comma actually. So 7 lakh. Here also I don't need to put the comma. Okay. So we plain numbers, right? And after that, of course, q equal to group q by industry, right? And then q equal to, for each q generate, q dot industry as industry and count of q as a, and finally q equal to limit q 2000. Okay. So q equal to load, q equal to filter q by annual revenue, and this one q equal to group q by industry for each q generate. I think that's perfect. I think I've written properly. Now we will directly check, okay, whether this works or not. So here I'm just going to the SAQL mode and I'm just pasting it and I'm just running this one. Okay, there's a mistake. There's a mistake. What is saying? Okay, I haven't put a semicolon. Okay, that's unfortunately I missed. I should have looked into the semicolon. Okay, so as you can see here, it's clearly mentioning that there is something wrong in this token. Okay, q equal to group. So that semicolon is not there. Now if I run it, so as you can see, currently this is the one. Yeah, these numbers are exactly matching. So this is the way to go about. Okay. Now, of course, instead of this particular and symbol, you can also write A and D. I think that will also work out. We will check this once. Yeah, this A and D will also work out. Or you can just write that kind of S kind of a symbol which is there. Okay. So that way also you can write, or you can write simple A and D. So yeah, that is about this one. We have achieved about this result by the SQL, and we have understood how we can go for filtering by measure. So yeah, let's meet very soon in our next video. We will keep up the practice in this manner. Okay.